The people who have warmer relationships with other people actually stay healthier as they grow older, and they live longer. My name is Robert Waldinger. I'm a physician and a psychiatrist, and I'm the director of the Harvard Study of Adult Development, which is the longest study of adult life that's ever been done. The Harvard Study of Adult Development began in the year 1938. The main conclusions of this study are two. One is not a surprise. We find, as many studies find, that taking care of our physical health makes a big difference in how long we live and how long we stay healthy. The surprise was the other big finding of the study, which is that the people who have warmer relationships with other people actually stay healthier as they grow older, and they live longer. There's a very clear connection between social relationships and people's health. The best theory about how relationships affect our health has to do with stress. So as we know, stress is a normal part of life. What we think happens is that when people don't have good relationships, when they don't have someone to talk to, when they're isolated, when they're lonely, that they remain in that state of chronic stress, in that chronic fight or flight mode. In the year 2007, they did a study of millennials, of young adults, and they asked them, what are your major life goals as you look ahead into your adult life? And over 80% of those young people said that their major life goal was to become rich. And another 50% said that a major life goal was to become famous. We think that young people associate happiness with wealth and fame and winning prizes, high achievement. We think that's the case because we're given so many messages all day long about what will make us happy, what will make a good life. You know, if you look all around us, there are advertisements that say, if you buy this car, you'll be happy. If you serve this brand of pasta to your family, you'll have wonderful family dinners. All these messages that tell us to buy things and to get the money to buy things. Our research suggests that one of the most important keys to being happy is the quality of our relationships with other people. Everybody is looking for the secret to happiness. And what we might say is the secret to happiness is really the little things in life, the moment-to-moment experiences of joy that we can have talking to a friend or looking at a flower. One of the important things about a good relationship is the feeling that we can be ourselves in a relationship with someone else, that we don't have to hide important parts of who we are from the other person. Also, it's important to feel like we both give things to the other person in relationship and we receive things. Another important quality of relationships is that they feel safe. So I want to feel safe that someone is not going to harshly criticize me, that someone is not going to attack me, just as the other person wants to feel safe. Another aspect of good relationships is accepting change. So each of us is always changing. We never stay the same. And so in fact, the person who we become friends with, or the person who we develop a romantic relationship with, that person is going to change day after day, just as we're going to change. It's easy to forget to care for our personal relationships because there's so many distractions. I mean, we have so many other pressures in life. We have to go to work. We have to earn a living. We have to take care of children. There are many other things we have to do. And so it's easy to say, well, my relationships will just take care of themselves. But what we found in our study, following the same families over 85 years, was that Many people lost friendships, not because there was any problem in the friendship, but just because the friendships withered away from neglect. But people don't talk enough about the importance of these human connections, when in fact, our relationships are likely to give us the support we need to be stronger at work, to be better partners and parents. Taking care of our relationships doesn't have to be an enormous effort. It can consist in very small actions that we can take every day. So for example, you might think of someone who you wish you saw more often, and you might just send them a text, send them an email, or call them on the phone just to say hello, just to say, I'd like to connect with you again, to propose taking a walk or having a cup of coffee. That there are very small things we can do, and if we do those every day or even every week, we find that we can keep people more current in our lives. Similarly, one of the things we can do with at least a few people is have regular times when we know we're going to get together. Many people feel like they don't have enough friends. They don't have enough relationships in their lives. And there's actually been good research about this. We know that one of the ways that people start relationships most easily is by seeing the same people doing an activity that everybody shares. So, for example, volunteering in the community, volunteering at a food pantry. When we do that, we're more likely to strike up conversations with people we don't know. Those conversations are likely to deepen, and then we're likely to make some friendships from those new relationships. One thing I might mention is that being shy is not a problem, that there are many people who are introverts, and that's perfectly normal, and introverts are just as happy as extroverts who need a lot of people around. Introverts need fewer people. They do need people, maybe just one or two people who they're very close to. We think that everybody needs at least one or two very good relationships where they feel safe and where they feel like there will be help coming their way in an emergency. But then, each person needs to check in with themselves to see, do I have enough relationships in my life? And if you feel like you have enough, there is no magic number. One thing we know from research is that having friends at work is very important. In fact, the Gallup organization did a survey of workers, of 15 million workers all over the world, and they asked everyone one question. They asked, do you have a best friend at work? And what they found was that only 30% of those 15 million workers had a best friend at work, but those 30% were better workers as rated by their bosses. They were more productive. They were happier at work. They were less likely to leave their jobs for another job because they had friends at work they wanted to show up for. So if you have a friend at work, you are much more likely to be engaged in your job. And that explains why those with friends at work are better workers. And that's important because it's possible for leaders of companies to assume that it's a distraction to socialize with other people at work. But the best research out of many business schools finds that it's just the opposite, that good social relationships at work mean that workers are going to be not just happier, but more productive, and that's going to affect the bottom line of companies. When we connect, we are capable of doing incredible things. And our research suggests that that is absolutely true. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go with other people.